Today's episode of The Real Deal with Damian Adams is brought to you by the three-point conversion. Now, the three-point conversion is for sports heads like you and me. If you need your sports updates as quickly as humanly possible, make sure you follow the three-point conversion on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like to read in-depth articles on basketball, football, college sports, hockey, anything under the sun, the three-point conversion has you there. So make sure you follow three-point conversion because it's where fans' opinions matter. Thank you for listening to The Real Deal with Damian Adams. This is real sports talk for the real sports fan, and I definitely appreciate all you real sports fans who are listening right now. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please do not forget to give us that 5-star rating and review. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. That 5-star rating will definitely be appreciated. If you're listening on the three-point conversion station on Spreaker Radio, thank you. The three-point conversion station is where fans' opinions matter. So if you have an opinion on the show, please let us know what it is. If you think the show is hot, let us know. Say, I think the show is hot, and I enjoy it. If you think the show can improve, don't say it as loudly as you would say it's hot. But let us know that you think the show can improve, and we will take your criticism into consideration. I need both of your praises and your criticisms to be great at my job. Thank you for support. Now, today's episode is special. No guest. It's just me and you. Just me and you. Just me and you. Ooh. I'm getting better with that. That little falsetto right there. Hit that little dream real quick. I know y'all heard it. But today's episode is special because it's an award show. Yes. So it's not just me here. I'm going to be the only one that you hear talking. But it's an award show. So there's celebrities all over the place. Like there's Denzel over here. Will Smith in the corner. Jay Farrow, Jamie Foxx, Kevin Hart's in the building. You're not going to hear none of them, because we got non-disclosure agreements and whatnot. But you're going to go ahead and just believe me that they here because it's a big event. The Real Deal Awards only happen like twice a year. We do it for the NFL and the NBA. It's a big deal. These are the 2018 Real Deal NFL Awards that you're listening to right now. It's a big deal. It's pretty big. Like I said, the celebrities in the building all over the place. You won't be able to hear them, but just take my word for it. And we're going to give out several awards tonight, like the New Kid on the Block, the Julian Washington Award, the Bobby Boucher Award, the Toss That Thang Award, the Throw Me the Damn Ball Award. What else are we giving out tonight? Giving out the Primetime Award, of course, MVP, the Coach Boone Award, Most Surprising Team, Most Disappointing Team. We're also going to talk about the coaches that got fired in the NFL in the regular season. We're going to recap NFL Wildcard Weekend, preview the divisional round, all right? This is all NFL on this episode because it is the 2018 NFL Awards. And I want the audience to go ahead and give it up for yourselves. You hear the crowd, man. It's crazy in here. You hear them? You know what I'm saying? You hear the crowd. So let's start with our first award, the New Kid on the Block Award. Now this award, of course, is for the best rookie in the league, offensive or defensive, right? They're going against each other in my awards. So for this award, let's look at the nominees. First we have Saquon Barkley, running back for the Giants, Mr. Do-It-All, big, fast, just dumb athletic. My man did a touchdown where he jumped from the 4-yard line. You know how far 4 yards is to jump? That's nuts. It's crazy. Baker Mayfield, quarterback extraordinaire for the Cleveland Browns. They got 7 wins this year, and most of that was because of Baker Mayfield. You got to give him respect for that. Lamar Jackson. He didn't start until later in the year, but he definitely provided that spark for the Baltimore Ravens, got them into the playoffs, and led them to a division crown. Derwin James for the Los Angeles Chargers. Beast. Someone who definitely has made a huge impact on that defense. Los Angeles is my favorite out of the AFC to go to the championship game, or goes to the Super Bowl, excuse me. Derwin James is a big part of that. Darius Leonard, linebacker for the Colts, led the league in tackles. The Colts defense is the best it's been in, I don't know how long. He's a major part of that. So before we get into who the winner is, can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you for that drum roll. And the winner is Saquon Barkley. As the crowd went crazy for Saquon Barkley. When you look at this guy's stats, man, as a rookie to do this is absolutely crazy. He had 1,302 yards rushing. He was averaging 5 yards per carry, which is crazy. Like, you want your elite running backs to get 4.4 or higher. My man was at 5 yards per carry on a bad team. Crazy. Had 11 touchdowns rushing. He also had 91 receptions from the running back position. And he got, Eli, the best average quarterback of all time, Manning, throwing to him. So that's no small feat. He also had 721 yards receiving for a total of 2,028 yards from scrimmage. There's no way I can give the awards to anyone else but Saquon. Saquon, you will be getting a gold-plated Real Deal award in the mail. All right? If it don't come, it's in the same mailing system with the Big Baller Brand shoes, so it might take a while. All right? But it should be coming. And congratulations to Saquon Barkley on winning a New Kid on the Block award. For this next award, he's also a nominee. We're giving out the Julian Washington Award. Now, Julian Washington was the running back from Any Given Sunday, played by LL Cool J. He was a beast. So this is a prestigious award for running backs. Let's take a look at the nominees. Todd Gurley, Mr. Do-It-All for the Rams. He's someone who was an MVP candidate throughout most of this year. Catching, running, blocking, does it all. Ezekiel Elliott, Dallas Cowboys, Mr. Do-It-All. Someone who has improved his game so much as far as catching the ball at the backfield, along with leading the league in rushing this year. He's a beast. Saquon Barkley, just mentioned all his stats. No need to say any more. Christian McCaffrey. The Panthers had a rough year. They went on a 7-game losing streak, if I remember correctly. As a Saints fan, I just want to rub that in a little bit. Just smack you with it that you went on a 7-game losing streak. But Christian McCaffrey was not the problem. My man was out here catching everything out the backfield, running between the tackles, truly carrying a load. So shout out to him. You also got to give shout out to other people that might not be in the category, like Alvin Kamara. The running backs is not as loaded as it was at one point because we have so many running backs by committee now. But you still have excellent backs like these. So before I give out the award, can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you for that drum roll. And the winner is Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley, man. Best running back in the league this year. Looking at his stats, he had 1,251 yards rushing, 17 rushing touchdowns, 580 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns, catching the ball. Absolute beast. Without Todd Gurley, that team does not run. The offense is not as prolific. So you got to give a shout out to Todd Gurley, the Julian Washington Award winner. All right. Before we give out our next award and continue the award show, we're going to take a quick little music break, some old school for you guys, and we'll be right back.
Chance of life, get ready, set, fly high. competition take the lead. This is it. All eyes on you. So stay on point and prove that you deserve what's long overdue. Live your dreams. It's not as hard as it may seem. You gotta work to get the cream. On your hopes you must lean. On your feet, you have to win yourself. It's all or nothing. Everything just to recovering from the heartbreak of another kind. I'm still drying my tears, getting over my own fears. So I wanna make sure this time that I'm strong enough to give it my all. Dreams, it's not as hard as it may seem. You gotta work to get the cream. On your hopes you must lean. On your fears, you have to win yourself. It's all or nothing. It's not as hard as it may seem. You gotta work to get the cream. On your hopes you must lean. On your fears, you have to win yourself. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. Live your dreams. It's not as hard as it may seem. You gotta work to get the cream. On your hopes you must lean. On your fears, you have to win yourself. It's all or nothing. You got to live your dreams, so don't you be afraid. Just set the pace and take the lead. It's your time to shine. Please believe.
Welcome back to the 2018 Real Deal NFL Awards. Big shout out to Athena Cage and that song All or Nothing, which of course we all know from the movie Save the Last Dance. That's the movie where I first fell in love with my current wife, Kerry Washington. I tried to say that with a straight face. We've been married in my head for a very long time now. But let's move on to the next award. It's the Bobby Boucher Award. Now, of course, Bobby Boucher is a legendary linebacker from the movie The Water Boy. So, of course, this is for the best defensive player in the NFL. Let's look at some of the nominees. First, we got Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack, for some reason, got traded away from Oakland. You know, John Gruden's out there doing an awesome job. Sarcasm. And he went and made the Bears that much better, got them into the playoffs. They won the NFC North this year. And if it wasn't for their kicker being, they might be, in the second round right now going against the Rams, but they're home. The next nominee, J.J. Watt, someone who's been through a lot of injuries lately. He's definitely up there for Comeback Player of the Year. Had 16 sacks during the season. He's a beast, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. We all know how great he is. Aaron Donald, beast. The Rams defense did not play up to expectations this year, but man, it was not his fault. He's an absolute monster. And lastly, Luke Kuechly, man. Luke Kuechly, the Panthers, I mentioned it before, were disappointing this year, but it's not Luke Kuechly, man. He's amazing with his athleticism along with his intellect on the field. Watching him play against Drew Brees and knowing all the Saints plays and calling out all the audibles and making it so hard on a prolific offense like the Saints to score is something that's just very underrated in this game. So shout out to Luke Kuechly. But before we give out the winner, can I have a drum roll, please? And the winner is Mr. Aaron Donald. Sorry for the delay there. I said Aaron Donald. Congratulations to Mr. Earl Donald, man. My man had 4 forced fumbles this year, 20 and a half sacks, and he plays interior lineman. Like, to get 20 and a half sacks from the inside is crazy. They see you coming. It's not like you can hit the blind side. Like, you always coming straight at the quarterback, and they still can't stop you. Absolute monster. 59 tackles, 25 tackles for loss this year. So shout out to Aaron Donald, the Bobby Boucher Award winner in the 2018 Real Deal NFL Awards. For the next one, this one is called the Toss That Thang Award. Now, for people who do not remember, there was a famous Jameis Winston speech, which has been overshadowed by his whole Eat the W speech, which was just not good. But he also had one at Florida State where he was like, we're going to go ahead and toss that thing. Right? He's originally from Alabama, and he's country. And all the country came out of him in that moment when he said, we're going to go out there and toss that thing. So now the Best Quarterback Award is called the Toss That Thang Award. Let's look at some of the nominees. Drew Brees, carried the Saints to the best record in the NFL. Another fantastic year. Turnovers are down. Touchdowns are up. What else can you say about the guy who's the all-time leader in passing yards? Phillip Rivers. Excellent year for the Chargers. He's had some amazing games. Broke the record for completions to start a game. Absolutely beasting. Andrew Luck. Comeback player of the year right there, probably. Coming off that shoulder injury. The Colts, without him, trash. With him, they're in the divisional round of the playoffs. Enough said. Pat Mahomes. Came in, first year as a starter. Seems like he's been in the league for 10 years. Out here throwing no-look passes. Absolute beast. And before I give out the winner, can I have a drum roll, please? And the winner of the Toss That Thang Award is Mr. Pat Mahomes. Congratulations to Mr. Pat Mahomes for winning the Toss That Thang Award. Absolute beast, man. This year he had over 5,000 yards passing. He's only the, sixth quarterback now to do that? My man Drew Brees has done it 5 times, but I'm not going to brag about that. So he threw for 5,097 yards, 50 touchdowns. That's something Drew Brees has not done. Had 12 interceptions. He completed 66% of his passes. Like I said, has the Chiefs out here as a true Super Bowl contender, so shout out to Pat Mahomes. For the next award, this one may be the toughest award I have to give out tonight. It's the Throw Me the Damn Ball Award. Now, this award, the naming of it has been inspired by Keyshawn Johnson. He was a wide receiver, diva-like, and he wanted you to throw him the damn ball. He even had a book named Throw Me the Damn Ball. So the nominees for the Throw Me the Damn Ball Awards, a lot of them. You got Julio Jones, who led the league in receiving yards this year. DeAndre Hopkins, absolutely a monster, just can catch anything. Mike Evans had over 1,500 yards receiving with Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick going back and forth, being horrible. Tyreek Hill, you can't catch him. Like, he's an absolute beast. He has improved so much on the technique of being a wide receiver along with that incredible speed. Michael Thomas led the league in catches this year, doing it without a second receiver pretty much in New Orleans. Juju Smith-Schuster had over 1,400 yards receiving. Beast. Antonio Brown, still maybe the most talented receiver in the league. And even in a down year for himself, had 100 catches, over 1,200 yards. Like, that's what he does. So, can I have a drum roll, please? And the winner of the Throw Me the Damn Ball Award is Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas, man, put your guns in the air. And I'm not talking about, real guns. I'm talking about your arms, your biceps, because that's how my man celebrates when he catches the ball. 125 catches, led the league in a stacked NFL, led the league in receptions. Had 1,405 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns. And the reason I gave him the award is that he did it without a second receiver. You think about somebody like Juju Smith-Schuster, who had all those yards. He has Antonio Brown on the side, so you got to double him. Tyreek Hill, that offense is amazing. You got Travis Kelce at tight end. Think about Mike Evans. He's a monster, but he's not better than Michael Thomas. DeAndre Hopkins is a monster as well, but didn't have the complete stats of Michael Thomas, all right? Julio Jones, you don't get enough touchdowns, bro. I need some more touchdowns from you. Michael Thomas is a monster, man. Ted getting out for most of the year. Drew Brees is throwing to Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and a bunch of undrafted free agents, and old man Benjamin Watson, who's retiring at the end of the season. And without the lack of weapons around him, Michael Thomas was still able to beast out, get the stats that I mentioned earlier. So he's the winner for the Throw Me the Damn Ball Award that will be in the mail coming to you soon. So now it's time for us to take our next music break. A little old school. You know, I love old school. So we're going to be right back after this short break.
I like this. I like this. I like this. I was young and didn't have nowhere to run. I needed to wake up and see what's in front of me. Nah, nah, nah. There has to be a better way. They gotta give me a better way to show I'm grateful. So I thought of this song to show my appreciation for loving me so long. You don't know how much you mean to me. 'Cause even though time got a run, you never turned away. You were right there. And I thank you, thank you. When I felt I had enough, you never turned away. You were right there. And I thank you, thank all through my life I knew there could be no world, and everywhere I go, things you told me they would show. So many times and changes shapes that I threw. I sure my shoes are flat without you. And so I thought of this song to show my appreciation for loving me so long. You don't know how much you mean to me. 'Cause even though I got it right, you never turned away. You were right there. And I thank you, and I thank you. When I felt, you never turned away. You were right there. And I thank you, thank you. 'Cause even though time got it right, you never turned away. You were right there. And I thank you, you never turned when I felt had enough. You never turned away. You were right there. You really make me smile. Thank you.
Welcome back to the 2018 Real Deal NFL Awards. Big shout out to Boys to Men with Thank You on the music break. Now let's get back to these awards. The next award I'm giving out is the Primetime Award. Now you guys all remember Deion Sanders. Nickname was Primetime, the best cornerback of all time. So the Cornerback of the Year award goes to the Primetime Award winner. Let's look at the nominees. Kyle Fuller. Balled out for the Bears this year. Absolute beast. Xavier Howard for Miami. Beast. Eddie Jackson. The fact that him and Fuller are in the same secondary is stupid. Stephon Gilmore. Beasted out for the Patriots this year. A big reason why they have a bye. So, drum roll, please. The winner of the Primetime Award is Kevin Fuller. Big shout out to Kevin Fuller, man. The winner of the Primetime Award. He had 7 interceptions and 21 passes deflected this year. That's stupid. That's an amazing amount. So shout out to him, the Primetime Award winner, Kyle Fuller. If I said Kevin, I apologize. Kyle Fuller. The next award we're giving out doesn't have a fancy name. It is the Most Valuable Player Award. MVP. Now, for the MVP award, here are the nominees. Aaron Donald. Already won the Bobby Boucher Award. Absolute beast. Drew Brees. Already talked about him a little bit. Pat Mahomes. And Phillip Rivers. A very stacked field. Look at Aaron Donald. What he did for that defense, for that team. Definitely deserves to be in the conversation. Drew Brees. There's a reason the Saints are Super Bowl favorites right now. And it's mostly due to him. Pat Mahomes. We talked about 5,000 yards passing, 50 touchdowns. Crazy. Phillip Rivers. My man is going against the Patriots in the second round for a reason, because he's a beast. And that defense has something to do with it as well. So the winner of the MVP award, drum roll please. Winner is Drew Brees. Big shout out to Drew Brees, man. This year he had 3,992 yards passing, 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Beastin'. Had a 115.7 passer rating, highest in the league. Broke his own record for a completion percentage at 74.4. Beastin'. And he only played 15 games. Didn't play the last game. And the reason I picked him over Mahomes is the lack of turnovers. Mahomes has a lot of turnovers. We even mentioned the fumbles. We just mentioned the interceptions earlier. Drew Brees protected the ball. Still put up stats. Was aggressive. He wasn't like he was out here dinking and dunking. And that's why he's the most valuable player. All right, for our next award, it's the Coach Boone Award. Now, Coach Boone was played by Denzel Washington. Remember the Titans. Excellent coach. So he's a great representative of the Coach of the Year. For the nominees, Sean Payton, best record in the NFL. What more can you say about the New Orleans Saints head coach? Pete Carroll. No one expected Seattle to make the playoffs this year. You know, I know there was a disappointing performance against Dallas, but you still got to give him credit. Matt Nagy for the Bears. This competition is real thick. Andy Reid. Another one that's just making it hard. Anthony Lynn for the Chargers. Sean McVay. Bill O'Brien. So, for this award, man, it's tough. Because you want to think about who's working with less, who did more, whose schemes are better, who you think has the most to do with what their team is, you know, the success of their team. Drum roll, please. Sorry for the ghetto drum roll. And the winner of the Coach Boone Award is Matt Nagy. Sorry about that. Big shout out to Matt Nagy, man. You think about what the Bears did this year. You go from having Trubisky look like maybe a bust, or maybe somebody that you made a mistake in trading up to get, to now being competent. That defense is amazing. And they should be in the second round of the playoffs. They have a bright future. And you got to give up to their head coach. So shout out to Matt Nagy, the Coach Boone Award winner. So we're going to take a quick break and get a word from my friends from Brownstown. And then we'll be right back.
What's going on, folks? I'm LA, and that's Eric from Brownstown USA Podcast, heard each and every week on the 3-Point Conversion radio station.
You know, LA, the Browns and Damian Saints are a lot alike.
Bruh.
Seriously, the Saints first made the paper bag masks popular, and it took them over 20 years to get hot. And they had one major Hall of Famer who didn't get a...
Sorry that was cut short, but that was the partners from Brownstown, USA. You can check that out on the 3-Point Conversion station each and every week. Welcome back to the 2018 Real Deal NFL Awards. Now it's time to give out our most surprising team. Now these don't have drum rolls, don't have clapping and all that. We do give them out real quick. So the most surprising team nominees are the Houston Texans. Went on a 9-game winning streak. Very surprising, made the playoffs. The Chicago Bears, Seattle Seahawks, Dallas Cowboys, or the Indianapolis Colts. So for the most surprising team, I have to go with the Colts, man. You think about coming into this year, no one thought the Colts was going to be good. Even when Andrew Luck back, we thought, hopefully Luck's good, but that team's not going to be good. You are depending on, rookie offensive linemen, rookie linebackers, a young team around Andrew Luck. And the coach Frank Wright has definitely did his thing. He has that team that could upset Kansas City. Look pretty good. So shout out to the Indianapolis Colts for most surprising team. Most disappointing team? Let's go with, the nominees are Jacksonville, Minnesota, Carolina, or Atlanta. Each of these teams has been very disappointing. You think about Jacksonville, last season going to the AFC Championship game. You figure Blake Bortles would improve a little bit. That defense will still be good. None of that happened. They struggled. Were horrible. Minnesota went to the NFC Championship game last year. Now, of course, they made it there on a miracle. But they go from Case Keenum to Kirk Cousins, have pretty much the same roster. You're figuring that team will be good. Missed the playoffs. An $84 million man. Looking like he robbed y'all. Carolina, start off the year 6-2. Missed the playoffs. That's nuts. Cam Newton playing through an injury. Maybe that was part of it. The only bright spot on offense was Christian McCaffrey. Defense looking old. Disappointing. Atlanta made the playoffs last year. Only 2 years removed from the Super Bowl. And this year, just the bottom fell out. So who's the most disappointing? For me personally, I would say Jacksonville. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl this year. And they made a fool out your boy. Jacksonville out here looking just straight dirty. And they're going to move on from Blake Bortles this year. We'll see what happens when they get a new quarterback. How that adjustment happens. Do they keep Leonard Fournette? There's a lot of things going on in Jacksonville. We'll see. Let's talk about these coaches real quick who got fired at the end of the regular season. So let's start with Tampa Bay. They fired Dirk Cutter after 3 seasons. He went 5-11 his first year, 9-7, then 5-11 again. Oh, I'm sorry. He went 9-7, 5-11, 5-11. Excuse me. I had a problem with him getting the job in the first place. When you think about the fact that Lovie Smith did nothing but improve in his time there, you fire Lovie Smith for no reason because you think Jameis is going to develop better with Dirk Cutter at head coach. And Jameis has not developed at all. Now, is that all on Dirk Cutter? No, Jameis Winston has a lot of issues going on and off the field. But I can't really be mad at the firing. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have underachieved. Like I said, they went 9-7 his first year. You'd think they would propel into the playoffs after that, but went backwards to a 5-11 team. Todd Bowles got fired by the Jets. They went 4-12 last year. They were 10-6 his first year. They went 5-11, 5-11, then 4-12. When you have 3 consecutive years like that, I can understand it. Now, you are playing with a rookie quarterback this year. Do you have the talent around him that you can expect more from that? I don't know if he really had a chance going into this year. I feel like he was a lame duck at the beginning of this year when you have a rookie quarterback starting. Next, Vance Joseph. The Broncos fired Vance Joseph after 2 years, and I think he had no chance. Last season, you had Trevor Siemian at quarterback, and who else? You brought Brock Osweiler back. Who else did you have at quarterback last season? This year, you got Case Keenum, who's a C-plus quarterback at best. You got a decent defense, but your offense is just stuck. What do you expect Vance Joseph to do? Maybe you should look at the GM. As great as John Elway is, he can't get a quarterback who isn't already a Hall of Famer. He got lucky with Peyton Manning wanting to come there after the neck surgeries. What has he done since then? So I think Vance Joseph definitely got a raw deal there. Miami fired Adam Gase. Now, this is weird. His first year they went 10-6, then 6-10, then 7-9. It's hard to say they underachieved. You know, Ryan Tannehill hasn't been healthy for, 2-3 years now. And you already see that he's getting a lot of heat when it comes to these other jobs. So I think that Adam Gase will be all right. I can understand the firing, but it's like, I don't think it was his fault. Marvin Lewis. My man was there for 16 years. No playoff wins for the Bengals. They've been disappointed the last few years. They don't have the talent they've had in the years past. He underachieved some years. Some years they had very talented teams and didn't win a playoff game. You could think all the way back to the Carson Palmer, Chad Ochocinco years, right? But I do like that they gave him a true chance. A lot of teams don't do that. But 16 years, no playoff wins, that's a little long. So you expect eventually for him to get fired, let go. So, of course, I have no problem with that firing. Now, the next one is a complete opposite. My man Steve Wilkes got fired by Arizona after 1 year. They went 3-13. Rookie quarterback. No, you start off with Sam Bradford. Then you go to a rookie. No offensive line. Your defense has some talent, but it's very spaced out. You have, Chandler Jones on defensive line, Patrick Peterson as a cornerback. But besides that, what do your defense have? Offensively, you have Larry Fitzgerald, David Johnson, but no O-line. And you're going to fire the coach? And then you're going to go hire a coach who just got fired in college? They just hired Kingsbury? Is it because he looks good with sunglasses on? He's a handsome guy? I'm pretty handsome. Can I get a head coaching job because of that? Come on, man. So that's my little spill on the coaches that got fired before we go into recapping Wildcard Weekend. So let's take one more little music break, and we'll be right back.
What's it we're taking those vows. There'll be some love making, heartbreaking, soul shaking. Oh, love making, heartbreaking, soul shaking. What's it gonna be? 'Cause I can't pretend. No, don't you wanna be? Don't you wanna be more than friends? Hold me tight and don't let go. Don't let go. Have the right to lose control. Don't let go. I often fantasize the stars above are watching. They know my heart is deep to yours like only lovers do. If I could wear your clothes, I pretend I was you and lose control. There'll be some love making, heartbreaking, soul shaking. Oh, love making, heartbreaking, soul shaking. What's it gonna be? 'Cause I can't pretend. No, don't you wanna be? Don't you wanna be more than friends? Hold me tight and don't let go. Don't let go. You have the right to lose control. Don't let go. Running in and out my life has got me so confused. You gotta make the sacrifice. Somebody's gotta choose. We can make it if we try. For the sake of you and I, together we can make it right. So, what's it gonna be? Can't keep running in and out of my life, out of my life, out of my life. Yeah, friends, hold me tight and don't let go. You got the right, you got the right. Said you got the right to lose control. Yeah. Don't let go 'cause I can't pretend. I can't pretend. Oh no, don't you wanna be? Don't you wanna be more than friends? Hold me tight and don't let go. Don't let go. Have the right to lose control. You have the right to let go.
Welcome back to The Real Deal with Damian Adams. It's now time to recap Wildcard Weekend. Big shout out to In Vogue with Don't Let Go. So the first game of Wildcard Weekend, we had the 10-6 Colts go against the 11-5 Houston Texans. And the Colts went in there and laid down the smackdown. Just on the Texans, 21-7. It wasn't really that close. They dominated most of the game as they were able to be very balanced against what was supposed to be a very scary Texans defense. Marlon Mack had 24 carries for 148 yards. Andrew Luck went 19 for 32, 222 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick. And of course, T.Y. Hilton was out there dominating as he had 5 receptions for 65 yards. Just looking like his home, right? And it's 85 yards, excuse me, for T.Y. Hilton. I apologize. Now, I don't know why this happens. I don't know if the NFL has something against ESPN, but they always get the boo-boo game. Whatever game's going to be boo-boo on Wildcard Weekend goes to ESPN. That first game's always trash. And it's always the Texans losing every year. It seems like. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but I feel like they should just rename that game, come watch the Texans lose. Every time they're going to have a wildcard game on ESPN, it's going to be the Texans losing. Just rename the game. And in this game, man, the Colts just came out from the get-go dominating. Andrew Luck was out there finding everybody open. The secondary could do nothing with them. The Colts have a great offensive line now. I mentioned the rushing yards. The Texans just fell behind the 8 ball and could do nothing about it. I really look forward to this Colts versus Chiefs game. For the next matchup on Wildcard Weekend, we had the Dallas Cowboys defeat the Seattle Seahawks 24-22 in a game where both teams want to establish the run, but one team got too stuck on trying to do that, okay? So you think about Russell Wilson, who went 18 for 27, 233 yards, 1 TD. Definitely should have thrown the ball more, especially when you look at the fact that Seattle had 29 yards rushing from Penny, 20 yards from Carson. It just wasn't there. And, Tyler Lockett and Wilson were dominating the passing game. They just wouldn't go to it. You got to let Russell Wilson do his thing. You're paying them, $30 million a year? Let that man earn his worth. For Dallas, Dak Prescott, 22 of 33 for 226 yards, 1 touchdown. He also had 29 rushing yards and 1 clutch TD rushing the ball. Ezekiel Elliott, the leading rusher for the year, had 26 carries, 137 yards, and a touchdown. Amari Cooper had 7 catches for 106 yards. And, of course, we want to give a big prayer to Allen Hurns. Hopefully he recovers fast from that horrific injury with his dislocated ankle, broken ankle, and all that stuff. But they say he should return healthy for next year. But Dallas showed in this game, man, they can be physical with you. They can hold up against any physical team. The game against the Rams is not a give me. It's not a give me. So shout out to the Dallas Cowboys for winning that one. On Sunday, the first matchup, we had the Chargers defeat the Ravens 23-17 in a game that wasn't really that close for most of it. The Chargers dominated. They were able to force turnovers. Melvin Ingram was just dominating, getting through the line, making Lamar Jackson fumble, making them uncomfortable. And I feel like they should have went to Joe Flacco. It's your last game of the season. Season's on the line. Why not give Joe Flacco a chance to try to bring you back in some way? The offense you were trying to run with Lamar Jackson wasn't working. It's the Chargers' second time seeing you in 2 weeks. They're going to be ready for this somewhat of a gadget-like offense that you have with Lamar Jackson. So why not go to Joe Flacco and try to get something going? Some kind of momentum, something to just get just some type of flow going. The Chargers' defense was the highlight. Phillip Rivers played okay, as he didn't turn the ball over, but he also didn't really do much outside of that. He just took care of the ball because he knew his defense was going to win the game. He went 22 for 32, 160 yards. Lamar Jackson almost went 2 hours without completing a pass, but somehow ended up with decent-looking stats with his late-game run of he went 14 for 29, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. And offensively, it's not really that much to talk about in this game. It was all about the defenses, as the Chargers were able to force turnovers and get short fields to get scores on the board. So shout out to the Chargers, man. I think that game against the Patriots is going to be pretty good. For the next matchup, we had the Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Chicago Bears 16-15 in a game that Chicago should have won. Now, Philadelphia, they had decent games from their star players. Nick Foles went 25 for 40, 266 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. You also had Alshon Jeffrey with 82 yards receiving. Their running game was really shut down, but you expect that against the great Bears. For the Bears, Mitchell Trubisky went 26 for 43, 303 yards, 1 touchdown. They also had Allen Robinson with 143 yards receiving. But it came down to the end where Nick Foles was able to get a touchdown to get the lead, but Chicago drove down the field, and they missed the field goal. The double doink. Bow, bow. Double doink game. It was touched by a defensive lineman. Now, the ball doesn't look like it changed its course. Usually when you see a block, you see the ball completely change direction. This ball looks like it went through his fingers and just kept going. So I don't know if I can give all the credit to the Eagles player who touched the ball, but you have a kicker in Parkey who has a history of hitting the goalpost. Like, he's done it multiple times this year. It's amazing how many times he's done it. It's hard to do. And he's a kicker who you've invested in, someone who you believe in going forward. And it's tough, right? To lose a game that way, I feel sorry for all the Bears fans out there. Shout out to my man, Mr. Controversy. I know that hurt. My man, Pat the Designer. All my Bears fans out there. I know it hurt, but you guys have a bright future, right? I went through a very similar type of loss last year with the Minnesota Miracle, where it took me literally a week to get out of a funk, man. Like a week to get out that funk. But the Bears were the better team. That's why I don't really believe in the Eagles this week against the Saints. So that was my wild card recap. Let's take one more music break, and we'll be right back.
And during the few moments that we have left, we want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality. I know your anger, I know your dreams. I've been anything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Mussolini and Kennedy. I'm the cult of personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality. Neon lights, Nobel Prize, when a mirror speaks, the reflection lies. You won't have to follow me, only you can set me free.
Welcome back to The Real Deal with Damian Adams. Big shout out to Living Kohler with Cult of Personality. I don't know if you pronounce it Kohler or Color. They got a weird U in there. I don't know. But shout out to them. Excellent song. Classic right there. So now let's move on to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And let's look at the matchups, man. Let's see exactly what's going on here as I get this up on the computer so I can see which one is happening first. All right. So the first game we have is going to be Chiefs versus Colts, or Colts Chiefs, excuse me, as the Colts will be visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs have the first seed, right? But they're not your normal first seed. That defense is very suspect. Andrew Luck should be able to take advantage of that defense. Marlon Mack should be able to take advantage of that defense. T.Y. Hilton, if healthy, should be able to take advantage of that defense. Their defense, the Colts defense, is pretty good. And they've been playing well of late. And remember, you might think of them as a 10-6 team, but they started the year 1-5 and then went on this crazy route. The Colts have what it takes to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, of course, the Chiefs have all the weapons in the world, so it's not going to be easy. But you heard it here first. The Colts will upset the Kansas City Chiefs 42-38 in a classic shootout. Luck versus Mahomes. But Mahomes, the young rookie, or second-year player, excuse me, will make a critical mistake in this playoff game. Turnover, fumble, something of that nature. And the Colts will win 42-38. You heard it here first. Book it. The second game on Saturday. Going with the Cowboys versus the Rams in LA. The Rams ended the season not looking the best. Cowboys are clicking on all cylinders right now. Their defense is playing well. Running game is clicking. And if there's one weakness with the Rams defense, if it's just one, it's that run defense. You would expect the run defense to be really good with Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh in the middle. But it's not. You know, they're out here giving up like 5 yards a carry. Going against Ezekiel Elliott. Not a good combination. Now, the Rams offense, I believe, will be on top notch. You know, having that week off. Ty Gurley back healthy. Cowboys defense will be tested. I got the Rams winning this one in a very, very close game. I'm going to go Rams 30, Cowboys 26. All right, heard it here first. Rams 30, Cowboys 26. Let's move on to Sunday, as we have the first matchup will be the Los Angeles Chargers against the New England Patriots. Now, the Patriots haven't looked like the dominant team that we expect this year, right? The defense has had times where it's given up a lot of points. The offense has looked shaky. Tom Brady hasn't been as sharp. I believe he did not deserve to be in the Pro Bowl this year over Andrew Luck. Gronk looks old. You don't really have any deep wide receiver threats. And because of that, the Chargers, with all those weapons, Keenan Allen, Melvin Gordon, that defense with Bosa and Ingram, think they pull off the upset. We got the Chargers beating the New England Patriots. Let's give it a score of 27-21 Chargers. And then it's the main event. Who dat said they're going to beat them Saints? As the Eagles come in town to play the Saints on Sunday, Eagles shouldn't even be in this game, right? The field goal kicker should have made that shot, or that field goal, excuse me. The Saints already defeated the Eagles 48-7 earlier this year. Now, the Eagles are different with Nick Foles. They look healthier now. But that secondary is still very suspect. I expect Drew Brees to have a field day. I got Saints winning 28-13. And the Saints defense is much improved. The best defense in the league since Week 10. A lot of people don't know that. So you think about that improved defense for the Saints. along with this offense who should be healthy. The offensive line's getting healthy over this break. You had Alvin Kamara get that break for not just this week, but 2 weeks now, because the Saints pretty much didn't even play against the Panthers in Week 17. Saints winning 28-13. So just to recap my picks, I have the Colts defeating the Chiefs in the upset, 42-38. I got the Rams beating the Cowboys in a very close game, 30-26. I have the Chargers upsetting the Patriots, 27-21. And I have the Saints mollywhopping the Eagles, 28-13. And that is today's show. I want to thank everybody for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I had a great time doing the show. Probably too much fun. But make sure you share this episode with your friends. Follow me on social media at The Real Deal WDA. That's The Real Deal, W as in Whiskey, D as in Delta, A as in Alpha on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and all that. Good jazz. And until next time, go real or go home.